Hello everyone, welcome back to Off Duty. My name is Kearcy. I'm going to be taking you through about just over 20 minutes of a lower body Pilates class, nice and spicy. I'm going to be using a yoga block if you would like to use one or you have one at home or any sort of surface where you can elevate the foot a little bit. You can also just do this on your flat surface, no block is needed. If you want a little bit of a challenge, add on those ankle weights if you prefer. We got a little bit of some other added elements into this, but mostly the focus is on the lower body. So if you want that burn for the lower half, this is the class for you. So whenever you're ready, I'll meet you on the mat and we'll get going. Okay, hello everyone. I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm gonna take you through a Pilates class. All the focus is gonna be on the lower body, mostly. There'll be a little bit of sneaky things in there. I'm going to be using a yoga block for just a little bit of an extra added spice. If you have a yoga block or something that you can raise your foot onto, that is great. If you don't, no worries. And then if you want to add on some ankle weights, you definitely can for an extra challenge. Since this one's going to be a little bit longer, we will take a little bit of time to get settled. So once you're ready, come and make your way into a comfortable resting position of your choice, whatever that looks like for you. I always like lying down on my back to start. And then we'll just have that block or your equipment down beside you so that you can grab it without having to get back up. So just taking a couple moments here, letting everything fall heavy into your surface, just starting to let the body relax. Maybe closing your eyes or softening your gaze, and then finding your breath. Big inhales through your nose, and then exhaling through your mouth with a big sigh. Taking a couple of those big breaths here, letting everything settle, trying to clear the mind, letting everything go out of the room that you are in and just focusing on you and your body for the next little bit. Always feel free to pause if you feel like you need a little bit more time to settle. Good, if you're with me, we're gonna take one more big inhale. And then give me one more big exhale, everything soften. We'll start to wake up the body a little bit, start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Good, and then from here, bring your arms up above your head, lengthen out the legs if you're not on your back yet. Take a nice morning stretch for a moment, trying to lengthen out the body as much as you can. Feet to one side of the room, hands to the other, maybe shifting the hips side to side. Good, maybe one more big lengthen of the body and then let everything soften. Start to bring your knees in towards your chest, give them a nice big hug. Maybe find some movement side to side or back and forth here. Maybe forehead comes up to meet the knees. If you need a little bit more of a release, knees out to the sides towards your armpits. Maybe you find some circles of the knees. Maybe heels go to the ceiling, finding your happy baby. If you want to find a quick figure 4 stretch, you can take that as well. Last couple moments here for whatever you need, so take your time. Again, pause if you feel like you need a little bit more of a stretch and release. I'm not going to take all your time, so we're going to get started. Knees into chest one more time, big hug, and then let everything energetically release for a second. Good, I'm going to stay down on my back. I'm going to grab onto my yoga block. I'm going to place it underneath my left foot. We're going to work the right side first. So my left foot is right close to my glute, left foot's elevated, and then right foot's just gonna plant onto the ground to start. Hands can stay down on your surface, or if you want a little bit more, hands come to the ceiling, you're gonna get a little bit less support. From here, big inhale. As you exhale, peel the hips up off the mat, find that glute bridge at the top. Just hold here for a moment. We're gonna get into that nice form. So ribcage should still be onto the mat. Hips might not be super high, that's okay. And then I don't want a nice arch in the back. I want that core pulled in towards the lower spine, and then your ribcage corseted in, finding that waist. Good, from here, we're just gonna start to lower the hips down and then lift the hips up, big squeeze, good. Maybe finding that full tap at the bottom, or maybe finding a hover, keeping the tension. We're just gonna warm up a little bit here. You're gonna start to feel that left glute turn on a little bit more. That's what we're focusing into. Good. You got it. Find that breath. We're exhaling on the way up. Inhaling as you release. Maybe find that shh. Shh. Now, as much as that core isn't necessarily working right now, it's still firing, keeping everything protected and turned on. Good, we're gonna hold at the top in 4. We're gonna make this a little bit bigger in 3. Find the top in 2. Good, last one, find the top, hold. Now can you press into that left heel and then bring the right leg towards the ceiling, find tabletop. Maybe here you're gonna bring your hands down for extra support. And you tap the right toe down and up. Good. Now here's where that core comes into play a little bit. As the leg lifts up, squeeze the lower core and then lower down. Take it out of that hip flexor. We're not gonna be here for long, just firing that glute. Nice job. Can you keep the leg lifted in 4? Good. In 3. Nice work. Last 2. Last one. Good. Keep the leg up. Can you pulse the hips up an inch? Up an inch. Good. Only here for 6. We're going to hold in 5, 4. Good. 3. Last 2. Last one. Good. You got it. Pause here. Now you're going to extend the right leg out in front of you and then pull the knee back in towards your chest. Good. Extend the leg out. Pull in. Find that breath. There's that left glute. You got it. We're almost there. Challenge yourself if you can. We got one more place to go in 4. Leg at tabletop in 3. Good. In 2. Last one. Hold the leg at tabletop. Now right leg is going to come out to the side an inch and then use the inner thigh to pull in. Little out, little in. Good. Can you pull the hips up an inch higher? There we go. We got one more set of pulses. That's it. We're there in 3. Pulses in 2. Nice. Last one. One set of pulses for 8, 7, 6. Hold on to it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Roll back down nice and slow. We'll pull that left knee in towards your chest. Give it a nice big hug. Whew. There is that hamstring, that glute. Nice work. Now from here, we're gonna bring both knees into chest. Give me a nice rock and roll till you're in a seated position. That block's gonna go to the side for a moment. Now I'm gonna continue to work into that left side on top. So I'm gonna roll onto my right side. Now, however that looks for you, you can find that. So all I care about is that my right forearm is going to be down onto your surface. And we're gonna start with both knees bent. From here, we're gonna work a little bit into the obliques. You're gonna find that modified side plank. So lift all the way up, big squeeze. Now feel the obliques pull up and in. Shoulder should be over top of elbow and pressing away from the neck. Now from here, lower the hips down and then lift the hips back up. Good, lower and lift. Lower and lift. Nice work. Good. We're not here for super long, just a little bit of a push. Good. Can you hold the hips up in 4? In 3. Last 2. Last one, hold the hips up, hold top leg, so that left leg is gonna open for a clamshell, and then close. Big squeeze, and lower. Good. Nice job. A little bit into that side glute there. Good, can you hold the leg open in 4? In 3, I know. In 2, you're almost there. Last one, big squeeze, hold the knee open. From here, can you lower the hips down? Lift the hips up. This is where it gets tough. If you want to take out that side plank, you just lower down and you keep working that clamshell. So hips can stay down on the mat if you need. If not, hips are lifted. Oh, there we go. We're lowering and lifting. We're going to hold at the top one more time. In 3. We're going to pulse in 2. Good. Last one. Hold at the top here. Pulse the hips up an inch. Up an inch, challenge. Left leg extends out, keep pulsing the hips. Nice job. You got a little bit of a challenge to finish us off here. If you can, hold in 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold the hips up. From here, can you tap the toe down, up, down, up. Here is where you might lower the hips down. Just work that left leg. If you're with me, we're staying with the hips lifted. You're almost there. Hold the leg up in 4, in 3, last 2. Last one, hold the leg up, hold. Left hand comes towards your head. Little rotation with the chest and then open back up. Good. Little bit of sneaky core in here, but we're almost there. We got one more set of pulses. In 3, it's short. In 2, good. Last one, hold up, maybe hand comes to ceiling, pulse everything up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, lower down. Press onto your hands and knees. Find your quadruped position when you're ready. From here, we'll just take a moment. Find some cat-cows. Chin to ceiling, belly to the ground, and then chin to chest around the back. Good, just taking a little moment here. Find your breath, maybe grab some water. Take as much as you need, maybe shift the hips side to side or the shoulders. From here, bring the toes underneath you, push into your down dog. Maybe pedal the feet out. Take a moment. Good. And then whenever you're ready, maybe heels press down, nice big stretch. And then slowly walk hands into feet, feet into hands, and slowly roll up. Head coming up all the way last. Good. We're gonna grab onto that block one more time here. Now, since I've been working into that left side, I'm gonna start with my left foot up on my yoga block. Right foot's just gonna come onto the ground behind you. We're gonna start into a lunge. So step the right foot all the way back, sink into that lunge, just hold here for a moment. So try if you can, knees in line with the ankle, not pushing over the top of the toes. Good, now again, like I said, if you don't have that yoga block, you're doing it without. From here, press from that back leg, come all the way up, tap the foot beside, and then sink back into that lunge. Good, tap, lunge. Now this is where we start. You can always come back here if you need. You can make it slower. You can find your own pace. Now front leg's gonna be firing pretty heavy here. Chest can be slightly forwards to get into the front a little bit more. Now I'm gonna add on some layers. At the top, add in a knee drive with the right leg, and then step back into that lunge. Lots of balance and control here today. So use the core. Nice job. You got it. Keep pushing. I'm gonna add on again. When you get to the top, slowly press that right leg back, find your arabesque, nice and slow, and then pull the knee back to center, step back into that lunge. That's your full combo here. Nice and slow, lots into that right leg. Good. Now, anytime if you fall out of this, that's okay. Just like that, we get back up, we keep going. So much balance, so much into that bottom leg. You're here for 3. Good, you're gonna hit your arabesque. In 2. Good. Last one. Woo, there's that balance. Can you find that arabesque? Hold it back. Now from here, can you tap the lower leg down, up, down, up. Good, we're almost out of this balance, I promise. Hold it up in 3. We're gonna pulse in 2. Last one, pulse it up for 8, 7, 6, 5, hold in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, there's that balance. Step back into that lunge, hold. Good, from here, we're gonna find those split lunges. So you're gonna stay with back foot planted and just lift up and lower down. Good. You never know what day you're having, and that's okay. We just get right back into it. I don't know about you, but my front leg is screaming. Lots of work into that leg today. But guess what? We're almost halfway done. We're gonna add on here. So we're gonna stay nice and low. You're gonna bring the right leg behind you towards the left side of your mat, find your curtsy, and then come back to lunge. Curtsy, lunge, curtsy, lunge. Good, finding that heart rate a little bit here. You're gonna find that curtsy in 4, and 3, curtsy, and 2. Good, last one, find that curtsy. You're just gonna pulse in your curtsy up an inch. Up an inch, this is where we push, this is where we find your breath. You're almost there. We're gonna be back in that center lunge in 4, in 3, last 2. Last one, bring the foot back, keep pulsing. We've got one more push, okay? We're there in 4, 3, 2, last one, hold down. Now shift the weight forwards, extend the back leg. From here, all the weight is into that left leg. Can you tap the right foot in and back? In and back. Now challenge, arms extend above the head, arms bend in with the leg in and back. Now if you want even more here, you make it a knee drive in, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step off. Whoo, shake that out. Whoo, I'm feeling that. I hope you are too. We're gonna ditch the block for just a second. We'll come into the center, get a little bit of a push. From here, plant the feet about hip distance apart into your surface. Just sink down into that squat. Just hold here for a moment. Just hold. Take a big inhale, rise up halfway. On your exhale, lower down a little bit more. Good. From here, lift all the way up out of that squat, big squeeze, and lower down. Lift and lower. Good, big breath here. Super quick push in the middle. You got it. Good. We're gonna add on here. In 3, and 2. Good, last one, hold down. You have 2 butterflies at the bottom. Then lift all the way up. Lower down, 2 butterflies, lift all the way up. Nice job. We're gonna stay down just for those butterflies. In 3, in 2. Last one, stay down, just those butterflies. Out, in, find those outer thighs, big squeeze, squeeze. Good, we're just gonna hold down. In 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold. Can you sink an inch lower? Maybe 1 more inch, just hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, lift up. Shake that out. Now we got that other side. So place the block where you need it. This time we're into that right side to finish this off. Right foot's coming up onto your block. Left foot's gonna step back into that lunge to start. So when you're ready, meet me there. Sink into that lunge, find that nice form. Just hold here for a moment, just hold. Can you sink an inch lower? Good. Now hold here for a moment. All we got left is to do everything we did on that left side on that right side, then we'll be finished, okay? You got it, stay with me. Press off that back leg, come to tap at the top, and then lower into that lunge. Big tap, lower, tap, lower. Now remember, chest can be slightly forwards, getting into that front leg a little bit more. Right leg is nice and fresh here. It'll feel a little bit different. Nice job. Now you remember those layers, no surprise here. You can take them, you can leave them. We'll add in that knee drive when you're ready. Lower down. Pause at the top, find that balance, and then lower down. All about making these moves bigger, finding that breath, adding in the core. Lots of balance and control, finding that stability in all those little muscles that we didn't know we had, but are so important. We're gonna add in that arabesque. In 3, and 2. Last one, pause, press the left leg behind you. Find your balance, lengthen the leg, bring the knee back, lower into that lunge. Good. As you get the hang of this, you speed it up a little bit. Still finding that control. Remember, if you fall out of it, you just get right back in, we keep moving. Find that breath. I know, bottom leg is screaming. Can you hold back? In 3. You got that little challenge. Let's go. 2. Awesome job. Last one. Can you stay with the leg behind you? Good, tap that back leg down, up, down, up. Big squeeze for 4. We pulse in 3, in 2. Last one, hold it up, little pulses. We go up an inch. Up an inch for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that balance, step back into your lunge. Lower down. Good, we lift all the way up for that split lunge. Lower back down. Nice job, we're almost done with that standing work. Can you stay with me? I know you can. Good, you're gonna hold down in 4. We're gonna add on that curtsy. In 3, push the heart rate a little bit. In 2, good. Last one, hold down. Sink an inch lower. Bring left leg behind the right. There we go. Curtsy, lunge, curtsy, lunge. It doesn't have to be big. I want you to press into that front leg. Big breath. Meet me in your curtsy in 4. Curtsy pulses in 3. In 2. Last one. Find that curtsy, just pulse up an inch. Up an inch, find that squeeze. Squeeze. You know you're so, so close. Maybe back in that center lunge in 4. In 3. Last 2. Last one, step back, keep pulsing. Sink an inch lower. Good, hold down. In 4. 3. 2. Last one, hold down, hold. Sink an inch lower. From here, shift the weight forwards, back leg extends. All the weight comes into the right leg. Can the left toe tap in and back? In and back. There's that right leg. Arms come up if you can. Bend in with the leg, extend. Pull the rib cage in. Can you make this a knee drive right to the end? We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step off, shake that out. Whew. That was spicy. Put the block to the side for a moment. And then make the way to the back of your mat, your surface, wherever you are. Big inhale, arms come up by the ears. On your exhale, fall forwards. Good, shimmy out the knees for a second. We've got a couple places to go still. Take your time. When you feel loose again, nice and stretched out, we'll slowly make our way all the way down onto your mat. Now we got that other side, modified side plank. A little bit of obliques, a little bit of booty. So this time we're working that right side on top. So wherever you are, come down onto your left forearm, and the knees are gonna be bent. Good. From here, you're just gonna lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Find that nice form. Obliques are pulling up and in, shoulders in line with the elbow. Maybe hand comes to the hip. From here, lower the hips down, lift the hips up, big squeeze. Good. 2 more places to go here. That is it. You're so close to being finished with this. Good, big squeeze. Stay tuned in with the body. Hold the hips up. In 4. In 3, nice job. In 2. Good, last one, can you keep the hips up? Hold. Now let's open up that top leg, find that clamshell, and then lower it down. Again, nice and controlled here. Big squeeze. And again, if it's too much, hips come down to the mat, you just work that clamshell. Press away from the mat. Good, nice correction. Can you keep the leg open? In 4. In 3. Last 2. Last one, keep the knee open from here, lower the hips down, lift the hips up. Good. Big challenge, even for that shoulder. Everything is working here. We're gonna hold up in 4. We're gonna pulse in 3 and 2. Good, last one, hold up little pulses, we go up an inch. Up an inch, challenge, can you lengthen out that top leg, keep pulsing. Good, hold up in 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Can you tap the right toe down and up? Down and up. Now maybe this is where you lower the hips down. Big push for that bottom half of your body. We've already worked it a lot, so if you need that little modification, you take it. Good, can you hold the leg up? In 4, in 3, last 2. Last one, hold the leg up if you can. Right hand comes to your head. Rotate that chest down, lift up. Good. Find that core one last time. We got one more set of pulses coming up. In 3, push to the end, 2. Good. Last one, hold it up. Maybe hand comes to the ceiling. Can you pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1, here we go. Press up, take a second here if you need. Adjust yourself, take a big breath. We got that last push here. So only make your way down onto your back when you're ready. Grab onto your block one more time. Block this time comes underneath the right foot. We gotta finish off that right side. So heels close to the glute if you can, and then left foot's gonna plant onto the mat. Hands are down beside you or up towards the ceiling for a little bit more. From here, wherever you are, big inhale. On your exhale, slowly peel the hips up towards the ceiling. Find that glute bridge. Just hold here for a moment. Find that nice form. Again, rib cage is down onto the mat still. Hips might not be super high. Don't find the arch in the back, pull the core in. Good. From here, lower the hips down. Lift the hips back up, big squeeze. Now this is your last push of this class. So try to stay with me if you can. Right foot is elevated, we're focusing on that right glute. Big squeeze at the top, find that breath. Big shh. Good. Hips are gonna stay at the top in 4. We're gonna make this bigger. In 3. Last 2. Last one, hold the hips at the top, press into that right foot. Left foot comes to tabletop. From here, tap the left toes down and up, down and up. Now this is where that core comes into play. Can you use the lower core to squeeze the leg up? Good, hold the leg at tabletop. In 4, in 3, we got a set of pulses. In 2, good, last one, hold it up, pulse the hips up an inch, big squeeze. Only 2 sets of pulses here, that's it. Hold up in 4, 3, 2, last one, hold. Now from here, press that left leg out, pull the knee in towards your chest. Good, we're almost there. Probably about 30 seconds left, that is it. Can you stay here? Try to challenge yourself, stay a little bit longer before taking a breather. Leg is in 4, in 3, last 2, last one, hold the leg at tabletop. Can hips come up an inch higher? There, stay there. Left leg goes out an inch, in an inch. Find that inner thigh, out, in, in. One more set of pulses, in 5, in 4, finish this off, in 3, last 2, last one, hold it up. 8 pulses, that is it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll down nice and slow. Pull right knee into chest, big hug. And then let that go. You can shove that block out of the way and then bring both knees in towards your chest. Give them a nice hug. Maybe shifting side to side or back and forth. Then we'll pull right knee into chest. Extend the left leg on the mat. Take a second here. Maybe pull the right knee to the side towards your armpits. Nice, releasing the hamstring. If it feels good, maybe find some circles with the knee. Good, and then reverse those, flushing out the hip. Good, one more big tug and then release. We'll switch left knee into chest. Hold here for a moment. A little bit more, knee goes to the side towards the armpit. And a little bit more, start to find those circles. Now, while we're doing this, start to find your breath again. Reverse those circles. Maybe closing your eyes. Good, one more big pull knee in towards your chest and then let that release. Good, shift the hips side to side a couple times just to recenter. And then find that comfortable resting position of your choice. Let the arms go wherever is comfortable. Good, letting everything fall heavy onto the mat, onto your surface one more time. Letting the body start to relax. Find your breath, being so proud of showing up today and moving your body how you did in whatever way worked for you. I'm always so grateful to get to move with you. So you take as long as you need in this resting position or in any stretches that feels good for you today. And with that, we'll end with one more big inhale through the nose and one more big exhale, big sigh through the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next time.